Yo, what is up, guys? It is the man in the can. It is Super Pigman here today with another video, and today we're going to be talking about some more Kenshi lore. But before we get into it, I want to talk about my recent abrupt absence. I just felt like I kind of need a little bit break from, making YouTube videos and stuff. I just been overwhelmed with starting school and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys do forgive me and everything. I've just been, kind of stressing out in, my personal life a little, so hopefully you guys do understand that. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So one thing we have really not covered is the Gurglers, or as I like to call them, the fish people, because they kind of have a resemblance to fishes, but if they're crossed over with crabs and stuff like that. But I'm gonna propose two theories on what they could be, because the lore on them is very, very obscure. There isn't even that much lore on them. I do not know where to even start with how long they've been here and where they've come from, because they're a lot more recent than compared to a lot of other things. And I know when I say recent, people are going to be like, what do you mean they've been in the game for like 4 months? And recent, I mean like in comparison to the entire story of the entire game. Like they're recent in that regard. But let's talk about where they come from. Now, we know that Gurglers aren't mammals. They lay eggs. So we know that they aren't mammals at all, that they are actually probably some type of creature that comes from the ocean, because we know that they only inhabit one place. And we also do know for a fact that they overran a whole entire civilization down there where they settled up. Now, let me be clear. We do not know what civilization they overran. We don't know how long ago it was, or even like how everything works with them, But they seem to be found in abundance, so that means that they're probably like an apex predator or something in their own like biology. And so let me talk about something else first too. I do not think that they are natural residents, but without further evidence saying that they aren't, I have to assume that they probably are natural residents. They could be coming from the same side of the continent as the Hive, but let's get into these theories that me and a couple of people came up with. So the first one's going to be that either three factions could have been trying to genetically modify, humans again. So I've kind of narrowed it down to three people. The Hive, because, the Hive are kind of like the skeletons. They're really, really secretive. They do not love giving out information, and they are just really manipulative. They're really secretive. They're probably equivalent in knowledge with the skeletons, and I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for that, but come on, let's think about it. Skeletons are really fucking shady. We don't even know, like, everything about them. We don't even know what their huts are made out of, and it's implied that they're made from human guts. We don't even know who Fogmen are, and those are hives that have lost their minds. So we really don't know anything about the fog. So maybe they could have been genetically modifying humans, because as we do recall that, whole entire issue, huts and everything, them being the, the whole entire coming from human guts and everything. But there's also the Machinist, who I know I might receive some backlash for this, but come on, think about it. The Machinists have a lot of tech at their disposal, and they have one of the biggest archives, and they also, are pretty secretive, and their leader Io will, if you're a skeleton, will kind of mimic humans and like other races, not knowing a lot like the skeletons do, and he infers that you probably know a lot more than you even led on to believe, even though you don't know a lot more. And so the Machinists are a valid candidate, but let me propose to you one thing. How can we know that this isn't Cat-Lon's actual experience or experiments? We do know that we do have some theories that can probably suggest that the Bugmaster created the Hive, right? But Cat-Lon could have probably created the Gurglers. Not gonna lie to you. And the only reason I say this is because the only thing we know about Gurglers is that they overrun cities, like coastally and stuff like that. But if you really, really start to think about it, what is there on that island that there isn't like anywhere else other than in the Cannibal Plains? Research stations. There are research stations there. There's, a whole entire city there, and it looks pretty much like a research area, and it looks like a huge city too. So my personal theory is that these Gurglers are byproducts of the skeletons to wipe out the ancients once and for all, so they wouldn't be able to pass down. Because to be honest, we have no idea about anything about the ancients. Like, a lot of people do think that the Bugmaster is an ancient because of how old he is and how young he looks, because we all believe that ancients don't age. It's kind of weird, but we don't believe that, and we don't really know a lot about ancients. But there is this point in the Chaos Age where they just simply start disappearing, and you can look at the Machinist text and everything where they just start disappearing with, no trace. They start dying out, and they start becoming cannibals. What if, and let me propose to you this really crazy idea, that Cat-Lon had been genetically engineering these things and just let them loose on the ancients, and he left it loose like a good amount in the cannibal plains where the ancients used to be set up, and wiped them out all there. And then he found out that they had another research base down where the Gurglers home base is now, and he said, what, I'll let all of them out here. And he let them all out, and he left a bridge there just for them for some reason. Because if you really look at that bridge is man-made. That is the most man-made structure ever, and someone has to have made that. And if there was Gurglers there before the bridge was built, why would you build a bridge in a town where Gurglers are? And to be honest, I don't really believe that they're natural creatures of Kenshi, because where would they have come from? Would they really have walked the entire way from the other side of the planet? Would they, why aren't they invading into other places just right there? There's a lot of indicators that point it to be there, but there is a chance that, they could just be natural inhabitants only found in one place, and they could have actually just came from the other side of the planet on boats like probably the Hive did, or maybe they just swam all the way over here, because then again, they are mammals. They're kind of like underwater fish people, and I don't even know if they could swim. I've never tried testing that out, but yeah, they could be natural inhabitants. Like, the actual probability of that is pretty high, but I also have to say that the probability of them just being extraordinary, like testings, if you really look at them closely, they look like a humanoid object that was crossed with a crab, and it looks nasty. They look disgusting. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this lore video. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and peace.